Annual General Meeting and Role and Responsibilities of General Body. Powers and Function of the General Body. The Board of the Society, under a resolution, shall within 6 months after the close of the corresponding year call the annual general meeting at the principal place of business of the Society for the purpose of: Number 1. Consideration of the audited statement of accounts. An audited financial statement is any financial statement that a certified public accountant has audited. Number 2. Consideration of the audit report and annual report. The independent and external audit report is typically published with the company's annual report. An annual report is a comprehensive report of the organization's activities throughout the preceding year. Number 3. Consideration of audit compliance report. An audit compliance report is a comprehensive review of an organization's adherence to regulatory guidelines. Number 4. Disposal of net profits. A cooperative society shall out of its net profits duly certified in audit in any year, transferring on any amount not being less than 25% of the profits to the reserve fund. Number 5. Approval for appointment of auditors and fixation of remuneration. Number 6. Review of operational deficit, if any. Number 7. Creation of specific reserves and other funds. Number 8. Approval of the annual budget. An annual budget is a plan for a company projected expenditures over the course of a year. Annual budget acts as a benchmark against which an individual or company can measure progress and as a tool to help better manage money. Number 9. Review of actual utilization of reserve and other funds.
10. Creation of specific reserves and other funds. 11. Approval of the long-term perspective plan and the annual operation plan. 12. Review of annual report and accounts of subsidiary institution, if any. 13. Expulsion of members. 14. List of employees who are relatives of members of the board or of the chief executive. 15. Amendment of bylaws, if any. 16. Formulation of code of conduct for the members of the board and officers. 17. Election and removal of officers of the board, if any. 18. Consider the statement showing details of loans or goods on credits, if any, given to any director or to the spouse of the director or her son or daughter during the preceding year on outstanding against any of them. 19. Any other matter laid before it by the board of directors. This is where the shareholders participate in the supervision and governance of the company and exercise their right to speak and vote. These meetings may be required by laws or by the Constitution, Charter, or bylaws governing the body. The meetings are held to conduct business on behalf of the organization or company.
Board Directors. 1. Directors to be elected by the general body. Numbers may be specified in the bylaws. 2. Nominated directors. Numbers may be specified in the bylaws if applicable. 3. Chief executive and functional directors shall be ex officio members of the board. 4. Two eminent persons may be co-opted by the boards of directors. Note: functional directors applicable in case of national cooperative societies only. 5. Two subjective matter specialists may be invited by the board in any of its meetings. 6. Nominees of the central government, if any, as per provisions of the Act where the central government or state government has subscribed to the share capital. Role of the board directors, power and functions of the board of directors. 1. To admit members. 2. To elect chairman and vice chairman of the society. 3. To authorize convening meetings of the general body. 4. To interpret organizational objectives and set up specific goals to be achieved towards these objectives. 5. To make periodic appraisal of objectives. 6. To appoint, suspend, or remove the chief executive and such employee of the society as may be prescribed. 7. To make provisions or regulating the appointment of the society and the scales of pay, allowance, and other conditions of service, including disciplinary actions against employees. 8. To place annual report, annual financial statements, annual plan, and budget for the approval of the general body. 9. To consider audit and compliance report and place same before the general body.
Number 10. To acquire or dispose of a movable property. Example of immovable property are roads, constructions, and buildings, and this decision requires thorough examination and economic appraisal. Next is to review the membership in other cooperatives. Next, to approve annual and supplementary budget. Supplementary budget is an additional budget that provides more money to certain items listed in the final budget or allocated estimate spending in the next year. As a yardstick for setting financial goals, the BOD will approve the said budget. Next is to recommend to the general body distribution of profits. Directors of the company present the company's financial performance and shareholders vote on the issues at hand. Next is to raise funds in order to expand their businesses into new markets or locations, to invest in research and development, or to fend off the competition. 15. To sanction loans on the members. The BOD officially accept or allow loan to the members. Next is to fill any vacancy in the board by election. The body will also fill any vacancies in the board, so election will be held. Next is to approve the panel of auditors for placing in the general body. And 18. To appoint such committees, subcommittees as may be necessary and delegate to them such powers as may be appropriate. They also decide in terms of the appointment of people who will work in their field of expertise as it was needed. 19. To frame regulations for the elections of delegates to the general body, members to the board of directors, and for the conduct meetings of the general body and the board of directors as per provisions of the Act. The functions also as to form or make regulation for the election of a representative authorized to the general body. And lastly is to take such other measures or to do such other acts as may be prescribed or required under this Act or by the laws or may be delegated by the general body. In general, they take such additional measures or to perform such other acts as may be mandated by laws. The board of directors is the highest authority in any company. According to Section 179, Companies Act 2013, the powers of directors of a company entitled to make any and all decisions and thus exercise all the power which the company has authority to enact. But the board of directors are not allowed to exercise any power or take any decisions which are specifically to be exercised or a decision to be taken in a general meeting.
Chairman and Vice Chairman or Vice President. There shall be a chairman and a vice chairman elected by the board of directors from among themselves. The chairman, and in his absence, the vice chairman shall preside over the meeting of the general body and the board of directors. The terms of office of the chairman and vice chairman shall be coterminous with the term of the elected members of the board unless chairman and vice chairman ceases to be a director earlier. In case of any vacancy within this period, the board shall fill up the vacancy through re-election for the unexpired term of the board. The chairman is responsible for leading the board and focusing it on strategic matters, overseeing the group's business and setting high governance standards. He plays a pivotal role in fostering the effectiveness of the board and individual directors, both inside and outside the boardroom. Vice chairman means the non-officer member appointed by the board to take on the chairman's duties if the chairman is absent for any reason. Powers and functions of the chairman. The chairman shall have the following powers and functions. First, he shall preside over the meeting of the general body, board of directors, and executive committee. Second, the chairman shall sign the proceedings of the meetings presided over by him. Third, in the event of equality of votes on a resolution, the chairman shall have casting role in the meeting. Fourth, to convene the meeting on the board of directors, executive committee, and other committees of which he is chairman. Fifth, the chairman may delegate any of his powers and functions to the vice chairman. The chairperson is responsible for making sure that each meeting is planned effectively, conducted according to the Constitution, and that matters are dealt with an orderly, efficient manner. The chairperson must make the most of all his or her committee members, building and leading the team. The non-executive chairperson's duties are typically limited to matters directly related to the board, such as chairing the meetings on the board, organizing and coordinating the board's activities, such as by setting its annual agenda, reviewing and evaluating the performance of the CEO and the other board members.
Chief Executive. The Chief Executive shall be appointed by the Board and shall aid assist the Board of Directors in its function. He shall be a member of all committees submitted of the Board of Directors may be constituted. So, this point of Chief Executive shall be aid and help the Board of Directors in its function because he or she a leader of an organization, a member of all the committee, and to manage the company where the chief executive possesses and power and function. Power and function of chief executive, subject of overall control, general supervision of the board of director and chief executive managing director, whatever name he is called, shall have the following power, function, and the responsibilities. So, for me, responsibilities is one of the priority before to use the power and function. It is because responsibilities of an organization of chief executive are set by the organization is a board of directors or other authority. They can may be far-reading or quite limited and any typically enshrined in a formal delegation of authority regarding business administration. First, to assist the board of directors in the formulation of policies, objectives, and planning. So, the chief executive priorities and goals of company to have a good result of their organization where he manage the overall operation and resources of company. in order to implement the policies and plans duly approved with the general body or the board and furnish to the appraising the activities and progress to achieve towards implementation of policies and programs. Then to summon meetings of various committees include the general body under the instructors of chairman. So it is the chairman person responsibility to ensure that it continues to flow smoothly by the involve all member present by not permitting one of the two people dominate the meeting summarizing by the chief person during meeting can so the chief executive must maintain proper records of the society to manage the fund of the society as proper account to be maintained and edited and attend to all correspondence of the society. There is three relevant to indicate progress of lack of company in order to be responsible for collection and safety of found the execute the policies, programs, and business of the society and take such action as is necessary to give effect to the resolution of the general body board of direction or any other committee constituted under the law and to sign all deposit receipt of the society with bank in according with the resolution of the executive committee.
Secretary, the duties of the Secretary shall be A. To attend all meetings of the registered society and of the committee and to carry out all the instructions of the committee. Ito ang mga tungkulin ng kalihim na dapat tumalo sa lahat ng rehistradong lipunan at ng committee at upang isagawa ang lahat ng mga tagubilin ng committee. B. To be present at the office during the hours of business as fixed from time to time by the committee. Ito ay naroon sa opisina sa mga oras ng negosyo na itinakda sa panahon ng committee. C. To record the whole of the transactions of the registered society in the books provided for that purpose, to conduct correspondence on behalf of the registered society, to prepare the annual statement of accounts and balance sheet, and to have charge of the documents, book vouchers for payments and receipts on behalf of the registered society. Ito ay upang itala ang kabuuan ng mga transaksyon ng rehistradong lipunan sa mga aklat na ibinigay para sa layuning iyon. Pagsasagawa ng sulat sa ngalan ng rehistradong lipunan upang ihanda ang taunang pahayag ng mga account at balanse at magkaroon ng singil sa mga dokumento, libro at voucher para sa mga pagbabayad at resibo sa ngalan ng rehistradong lipunan. D. To receive all applications for loans and bring the same before the committee. To prepare receipts and other documents in the form prescribed for signature by borrowers prior to their taking the loan sanction, and with the authority of the committee to supply information about the registered society which may be applied for by members. Ito ay upang matanggap ang lahat ng mga aplikasyon para sa mga pautang at dalhin ito sa harap ng komite upang maghanda ng mga resibo at iba pang mga dokumento sa form na iniresita para sa pirma ng mga nanghihiram bago sila kumuha ng mga pautang na pinahintulutan. At sa autoridad ng komite ay magbigay ng impormasyon tungkol sa rehistradong lipunan na maaaring i-apply ng mga miyembro.
The duties of the Secretary shall be, letter A, to receive all monies due or payable to the registered society and issue receipt to the payer for same from a counterfile receipt book supplied to the registered society for the purpose by the registrar, obtaining on at the same time the signature of the person making the payment on the counterfile. The duties of the Secretary shall be, letter F, to deposit with the treasurer or monies collected by him on behalf of the registered society all sums in excess of an amount to be fixed from time to time by the committee and to obtain from him a receipt on a form to be taken from the prescribed counterfile book. The duties of the secretary shall be letter G. To keep separate all monies belonging to the registered society and no account to mix them with any other monies, and to always produce when called upon to the committee, on the register or any person authorized by him, all monies in his hands belonging to the registered society. The duties of the secretary shall be, letter H, to make payments as authorized by the committee, obtaining the payer's signature on the payment book prescribed by the registrar, provided that if the payment is made outside the registered society office, the secretary shall, in every instance, obtain from the payer a manuscript receipt and attach it to a separate page of the payment book. The duties of the secretary shall be, letter I, the last one, to issue a receipt on a form to be taken from the prescribed counterfile book with the saving money of the treasurer and to summon meetings as provided in the rules.